Hello students, good morning to all of you. Welcome to this virtual class. Last period we are discussing foreign trade policies. What do you mean by foreign trade policies? It means we have already discussed in international trade or the foreign trade there are the two components. One is imports of goods and services, another is the exports of goods and services. Import and export both are complementary terms in that foreign trade. Both have importance in the foreign trade for the economic growth or for the development of an economy or for the support of a country in an economy. So that the government has to make that policies regarding that import and that exports. Different countries have followed the different types of foreign trade policies at different stages for that economic developments. So broadly it is classified especially in two categories. One is import substitution policies, another is the export promotion policies. I was discussing last period what do mean by import substitution policies. Before the independence, you have already known what were the conditions for that imports as well as exports during that British colonial rules. So that after independence, we have to rectify some extent how the country will be self-reliant, how the country will be self-dependent, how the country's economic growth is possible. So with regard to this, we made that first policy import substitution policies. Last period I was discussing about that the country which producing that steel but he has no raw materials, the country has no raw materials. That is the example of that Japan. So Japan could manage to import adequate quantity of iron ore from the rest of the world. How it is possible? That is by that imports. So imports, which are the most important factors for the country for that development of an economy. That is why inward looking trade strategy refers to the policies of reliance on import substitutions. It means what the goods are to be imported from the foreign countries. That goods must be required for ourselves for the meet of the domestic requirements, so that without import how that goods can be produced within our domestic territory by the domestic industries. That is to be called that import substitutions. It means without importing the goods from the foreign countries, similar types of goods we have to produce in our own countries by the domestic entrepreneurs or the domestic producers. That policy is to be called that import substitution policies. Before this, we are already known the tariffs and the quotas. So tariff means that duty on the imported commodities or imported goods. It directly increases that prices of imported goods, so that whenever the price will increase of that goods, naturally the people will demand that less and less goods of that goods. So that whenever imposed on the tax or the duties or the tariffs, naturally the goods price will be increased. Similar type of goods, if it will be produced in our country and it will be sold in the market with the less price, then that policy is to be called that import substitution policies. So imports in generally restricted or prohibited by imposing the tariffs, and which is essentials that is to be imposed by that fixing of that maximum limits, which is to be called quotas. So quotas refers to fixing the maximum limit on the imports of a commodity by domestic producer. So you must clear about the two terms. One is tariffs, another is the quotas. Tariff means to increase, or it refers to that to levy the tax on that imported goods, and quotas means fixing the maximum limits the imported of a commodity by the domestic producers. We could not import that goods before above that limits what is prescribed. So under that, government fixes the quotas of imports different goods from the different countries, that the quotas is fixed keeping in view the needs of the country. So both tariffs and quotas restricted the imported, thereby protect the domestic producer from that foreign competitions. Protect that domestic producer for the foreign competitions. So whenever the prices will increase, that people will purchase that less and less goods, so we will protect our imports goods. So thus import substitute helps the nation to become that self-reliant in production of the different types of goods over a period of time. It will not have to depend upon the imports. Such policies are also known as inward oriented policies. Inward oriented policies. It means which goods we require to survive ourselves or to meet the domestic requirements, that kinds of consumer goods, that types of goods will be produced by our own country, by our own domestic industrialists or by domestic entrepreneurs, then that is to be called that import substitution or inward oriented policies. It means suppose India needs to import some machinery for domestic industries which is essential, that goods must be import or that goods must be purchased from that foreign countries, so that we can able to produce that more domestic goods, more consumer goods, which will be produced in such way that that goods will be fulfill the need or the meet to the domestic requirements. So that is to be called that inward oriented policies. It means import substitution policies implies domestic production of those goods which the economy has been importing from rest of the world. This is the strategy to save the foreign exchange by restricting the volume of imports. So by adopting that inward oriented policies, the government prefer to economize the use of foreign exchange through that import substitution. It means if we will export that goods and we will earn that foreign currencies or foreign exchange, that will be reserved for our own countries and that will be helpful for the development or for the growth of the nations. Although the government wanted to protect the domestic industries from the international competitions, that is why government will protect our domestic industries, which way the domestic industry will be able to produce that maximum goods which will be exported to the foreign countries. That is why we take the next policies, that is that export promotion policy, and second policy is that export promotion policies. Export promotion policies. There is the two policies. One is import substitution policy, another is the export promotion policy. It means if our domestic entrepreneurs who are expert, who can produce the types of goods which are demanded in the foreign countries. That kinds of goods are to be prepared to for the productions by the support of the governments, which way we can earn that more and more foreign currencies. That policy is to be called that export promotion policies. These are just the opposite of the import substitution policies. This policy or the export promotion policies are just the opposite of the substitution policies. These policies have been successfully employed in the past countries like Great Britain, Japan, South Korea, etc. Even the present times, the China have proved itself as an expert master in this field, which we are demanding that more and more goods from China. You know that India and China war, what is the condition is being faced by our soldiers, by our economists, by our politicians. All these are that now this is the current burning topics about that export policies and import policies in between China and India. So contrary to it, export promotion is a strategy on that foreign exchange by promoting the domestic industries and making domestic industry competitive in the international market. That is to be called that domestic entrepreneurs benefit, and which way the country will earn that more and more foreign exchange. That is to be called that export foreign policies, export promotion policies. Foreign exchange may use further to build up the domestic production capacity and thus build up the growth of momentum in the countries. That is to be called that export promotion policies. So this type of strategy is called outward oriented strategy. Outward oriented strategy. Inward substitution policy, that is that import substitution policies. Last period I was discussing import substitution policy, or it is called that inward oriented policies. Inward oriented policies. These are the two main foreign trade policies. So import substitution policy and export promotion policy. Inward oriented policies, outward oriented policies or strategies. So this type of strategy is called also export led growth strategy. Export led growth strategy. Export promotion policy, outward orientation strategy, export led growth strategies. So these are the different policies which are framed to protect the imports and to support of the export of our domestic industries. So as a result of high rate of industrial growth structures, diversification of the industrial growth, opportunity for investments, these are the advantages by these strategies, that is that import substitution policies and export promotion policies. So besides this import substitution and export promotion policies, there are some features of that foreign trade policies. What are the features of that foreign trade policies or Indian foreign trade? Next we will start that features of foreign trade policies. Features of foreign trade. Next heading, features of foreign trade. Features of foreign trade. First feature is that volume and value of foreign trade. Volume and value of foreign trades. What do mean by volume of foreign trade and what do mean by value of foreign trades? Volume means we can say that quantities. Volume means we can say that quantities. Whenever we see the chart or the table in the year of 1951, how much quantities we are exporting and importing, or how much quantities we are trading, either import and the exports. As well as if we will observe the different 5-year plans, that how much quantities and what types of goods we are exporting and what quantities of goods we are importing, that quantity is to be here to be called that volume of trades. So volume of trade refers to that quantity of exports and imports of a country. It means how much goods we are exporting to different foreign countries, and from the different countries how much quantity we are importing. That trade is to be known as the volume of trades. So volume says about the quantity. It means suppose X goods, name of the goods and quantity 20 tons, Y goods 35 tons, like this. So these quantities are to be called that volume of trades. Whereas value of trade refers to that how much is the price of that goods. How much price of that goods. If we will see the different charts in first 5-year plan to 12th 5-year plans, we will see that during these periods how much quantities are to be exported and imported, that is to be called that volume of trade, and how much values of that export goods and how much values of that import goods, that is to be called that value of trades. So this is that first features of India's foreign trade is value of trade and volume of foreign trades. I will not explain more. You will see the chart and you will see the diagram, then you can know easily. First of all, you know that clearly about that meaning of that value of trade and volume of trade. Second is that composition of trade and direction of trade. Second is, we may say that composition of trade. This is the quantity, is the volume and value, that is the price in crores of rupees, is to be called that value of trade. Suppose 2000 crores of rupees, 9000 crores of rupees, these are to be called that different kinds of value of trades. You will see the chart of the different years or the periods, different 5-year plans, how much goods are imported, how much goods are exported, that you will observe clearly the total value of trade is to be increasing day by day of the different items. So this is the conclusions of that value of trade and that volume of trade. Volume is also increasing and the value is also increasing. If we'll say or we'll compare the value of imports and the exports, so gradually you will see that value of imports will be more than that value of exports. As a result of the balance of trade, which is decreasing or which is negative, it means we have to pay that more and more foreign currencies to that different foreign countries. It means we have to pay that more foreign currencies to the different countries. If I will say that in 1950-51, as per that imports is concerned, it is only that 606 crore rupees, and imports is 608 crores rupees. So 2 crores rupees is the deficit balance of trade. Some of the books, it is given also plan wise, that is the first 5 year plan 51 to 56, how much is the value of imports and how much value of the exports. So how much is the deficit of trade and how much is the surplus of trade, balance of trade, that is that. So imports we are increasing faster than exports if we will clearly observe of the chart or the diagrams. Imports were required in the ongoing process of industrialization in the economy, but we could not find sufficient exportable surplus as a result of during that 1950 to 1990 the imports are to be increased, or it has always been faced that serious foreign exchange crisis because we have to pay that more foreign currencies to the different countries, because India was not able to export. India could not increase that exporting items. They were not increasing that fast, encouraging about that export promotion policies, or that government was not fully supporting to that export types of domestic industries, so that that export is decreasing and imports is sharply increasing. That is why India's export were growing at a slower rate than the growth of that exports. So this is that comparison in between that value of trade and the volume of trade. Now we'll switch over to that composition of trade. Composition means the what are the items, what are the goods we are importing or exporting or related to trade. So that is to be called that composition trade. It means composition of trade refers to that type of goods that are exported and imported by countries. It means suppose India, what types of goods are exporting and what types of goods are importing. That is to be called the composition of trade. So composition of trade means the what are the items are trade, are related with trade. It means are imported and exported by a country is to be known as the composition trade. It means it begins to export more manufacturing goods and it exports of primary products falls. It begins to import more capital goods and raw materials, and it imports that of manufacturing goods falls. So if we will go on statistical data about the composition of India's trade, that is India's exports, that agriculture products which was 43.7% in the 60-61 and it reduced to that 19.4%, 47.3 to 19.4% exports. Remember it. In what types of products? Agriculture products. Similarly, if we will start that manufacturing products, what will the your observations? It is 45.9% to increases approximately 60.9% like this, or more than 67% in the year of 1991. Similarly, in case of that services sector also, we have to increased. Basically, I want to express here that agriculture product export decreasing, manufacturing and other types of goods, these are to be increasing. So the growth process during that 1950 to 1990, that considerable about our traditional exports. So if we will draw that any kinds of pie chart, 47.3 or sorry 43.7 in 60-61, it 19.4 in that agriculture products, it means export reduce. But in case of manufacturing sectors, that products exporting is increasing day by day. So decline in percentage share of agriculture exports and decline also percentage share in that conventional items, but increase in the percentage share of that manufacturing goods. These are the to be called the composition of trade. Next one, that is the direction of trade. Value of trade, volume of trade, composition of trade, and the direction of trade. Direction means you have already known that there are the four directions: east, west, north, and south. It means the countries which are exporting to our country, or the our India, from which country is importing and exporting to which country, that countries are to be called the direction of Indian foreign trade. It means direction of Indian foreign trade, India's foreign trade indicates that the countries with which a country trades, the countries with which a country trades, suppose USA, China, Japan, Britain, etc., USSR, etc. These are the different countries. Those who are related with the trade in our countries, then these countries are to be called the direction of trade. You already know UAE, China, Singapore, Australia, Iran, Hong Kong, Korea, Indonesia, Japan, Belgium, etc. These are the countries presently they are related with our trade, international trades. But some extent we have restricted to some of the country, largely in UK and USA, etc. So these are the countries are to be called that direction of trade. So direction of India's foreign trade indicates that countries with which a country's trade, एक दूसरा कंट्री के साथ हम जो ट्रेड कर रहे हैं, either एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं कि इंपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, these countries are to be called as the direction of trades. So now it is clear what do mean by direction of trades. So these are the features: value of trade, volume of trade, composition of trade, and direction of trades. If we will discuss in detail about the share of that India's exports and imports, so USA shares in India's export during the 2016 and 2017 was recorded to be that 15.3%. I don't want to discuss this foreign trade because our syllabus is that up to that 1990. We changed that policy in the year of 1991, which is to be called that a year of great divide. 1991 is called that year of divide. Remember it. 1991, that it is to be called that year of divide. Why it is to be called a year of divide? Because till to 1990 we are relying on the different trade strategy, and we are relying that inward looking trade strategy which failed to yield that desirable results. It was only in 1991 when we introduced the new industrial policies, that is the liberalizations, privatizations and globalizations. So we change our policies about the inwards and the outwards. We change freely, that is the import and exports. We introduce that new economic policies is that open economy. There was no restrictions about the imports and exports. A country who is expert for that any kinds of products of the country, he is free to produce that type of goods and he can sell the goods any other country with the minimum cost of productions. That is why we can say that 1991 is to be called the year of divide. But remember it, 1921, when the population was shift to that negatives, that is to be called that the year of great divide. Don't be confused. So these are the inward strategies and outward strategies. Now I will discuss the problems of India's foreign trade during that 1950 and 91. What are the problems we are facing? Similarly, we are discussing in that agriculture sectors. These are the problems. So whenever we discussed about that imports and exports, we conclude that we are importing more and more than the comparison of that exports. That is why the trade is going to be deficit. It means we have to pay that more and more foreign currencies to the different countries because we are restricted about the imports and exports. Because our producer or domestic entrepreneurs, they are not getting the support, they are not getting that support from the governments to produce that more manufacturing goods to export to different foreign countries. That is why rising the trade deficits. And there was also foreign exchange crisis. You may write problems of foreign trade. First problem, rising deficit of trade. It means that value of imports was more than that of value of exports. Seriously, value of imports we are more than that of value of exports. How much we earn that foreign currencies on the comparison of this export of the items, value of exports, we have to pay that more value of imports. That is why the rising trade deficits. Similarly, second point was that foreign exchange crisis. Foreign exchange crisis. Foreign exchange crisis. It means whenever the rising trade deficit, these problems on the foreign exchange front. हमारे पास जो फॉरेन करेंसी नहीं है तो हम फॉरेन करेंसी दूसरा कंट्री को कैसे देंगे? दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम्स, दिस इज द क्राइसिस. यदि मेरे पास पैसा नहीं है, मैं जो ऋणं कृतं घृतं पिबेत खा लिया, कहाँ से पैसा दूंगा? So that is the debt trap I have already discussed in that macroeconomics in the budget chapters. So this prevents at a time from importing even essential goods like wheat, edible oils. This adds adverse effects of our economic growth. यदि हमारे पास पैसा नहीं है तो हमको रोटी कहाँ से मिलेगा, खाना कहाँ से मिलेगा? Due to that foreign exchange crisis, we are not able to import of that goods, so we will be hungry. We could not growth our economy. So that is why whenever we have to pay that more and more foreign currencies, at that time we are dropped or we are drowned by that burden. That is called that rising debt burden. Rising debt burden. It means a large part of the trade deficit has to be met by borrowing from abroad, from any other countries, like the Pakistan crisis is here. So as a result of our external indebtedness kept on increasing, how long we will be ऋणं कृतं घृतं पिबेत? मतलब कमाने के साधन कुछ नहीं है, दूसरा से बोरो करके कितना दिन कितना अच्छा खाएंगे, अच्छा रहेंगे. So that is to be called the debt traps. The country will face the problems. Debt trap means, suppose today you have no money, so you borrowed the money. Again, to pay that borrowed money, where you will get the money? You will not get money, you can earn the money. That is why again you will borrow the money. So that process, whenever it will continue, will be trapped in such a way that you will be drowned yourselves. That is called that rising debt burden. So government sometimes give the subsidies, but how long that government will give the subsidies? Think yourself. During that corona period, COVID-19 pandemics, government is giving the subsidies till to the Diwali, till to the end of the November. But where that government will earn that money? Can you raise the questions? गवर्नमेंट का कोई भंडार नहीं है, अन्न भंडार नहीं है, पैसा भंडार नहीं है, जो कहां से आ गया दे देगा. So that domestically huge subsidies had to be paid to the exporter so that he could sell their goods in international market at highly subsidized prices. The growing burden subsidies had adverse effect on government expenditures. It means to earn that huge foreign exchange, what the price of the actual goods what you want to export, some extent you want to earn that foreign currencies. That is why you will give the subsidies of that goods. So what is the price of the goods? 10 rupees. But you government will give that 2 rupees subsidy. So you will sell that goods in the foreign country 8 rupees. But how long it will be continued? Remember it. So that subsidies will be increasing in the continuous process. That is why that subsidies will be increasing. So that is the fourth point, is the rising that subsidies. How long the government will give the subsidies? कितना दिन तक देगा गवर्नमेंट्स? कहाँ से लेके आएगा? It will face the challenges of the countries for the people. That is why Professor R.G. Narkse said, why India is poor? Because he is poor. गरीब देश को उतना ऊपर चढ़ाना इतना आसान बात नहीं है. बार बार बोल रहा हूँ, यदि एक बच्चे को खाना नहीं मिलेगा, वो क्या इनोवेशन स्किल लेगा? वह क्या मेक इन इंडिया बनाएगा? क्या मेड इन इंडिया बनाएगा? सब दूर की बात है. तो वी हैव टू फुलफिल दैट मिनिमम एसेंशियल कमोडिटीज. दैट इज व्हाई with regard to this, I concluded that whenever India take that new economic policies, that is liberalization and private globalization. आज जो देख रहे हैं घर घर में हर मेंबर का एक एक मोबाइल है, टीवी, रेफ्रिजरेटर्स, all these electronics gadgets are available. That changes come after the 1991. That is called the new economic policy. So we will start in the next period the new economic policy. You have to go through the book and come with advanced reading, that is the liberalization, privatization, globalization, which will be more interesting to all of you. Thanks to all of you.